nobody expected him to stay for long. I think it was perhaps only a stopgap, but it was just because you felt safe with Kenny, because his heart was where your heart was, and so, you know, he was welcome.
Kenny got the job for the second time. It was a good move because in many ways it appeased the supporters. There was a League Cup win at Wembley as well, which is always good.
After so much difficult and, you know, dark days, to be back as Liverpool Football Club winning a trophy and winning it with, you know, with the King in charge, it doesn't get any better, to be honest.
The club had begun to heal, but to return to the success of the past, they were going to have to turn their back on tradition and rip up the Liverpool rule book.
I don't think that you can win in any sport unless you attack every avenue you have to try to excel. I was determined to see whether or not it would be possible to use data analysis to help.
Every aspect of the club went under the microscope, from diet to player improvement to player purchases. No stone was left unanalyzed.
That was about bringing in the right people who started to develop our own sort of bespoke analysis and scouting systems, and it was more one of not having a single individual choosing the players.
The new way of working also applied to managers. It didn't take a data analyst to figure out that league results weren't great under Kenny. Having unified the club, his time came to an end.
Kenny gives me a hard time still about that, but and that's fine. It was, of course, results, and then I think also the ownership wanted a different, you know, a more, let's call it a more modern coach with a more modern view. I remember saying on the first day Brendan arrived in Liverpool, saying to him, we were waiting to go to do the press conference. I remember saying to him, you know, just as somebody who kind of grew up here, like, don't underestimate the size of this place.
You know, it's been 20 years since they've won the title, and for sure, and the realism is we might not be ready for the title now, but the process begins today, and it's a new cycle.
It was such a great learning curve for me, Liverpool, and you understand the size of Liverpool, but you don't really truly understand it until you're there.
Rodgers may have been a modern manager, but there were early tensions over transfer policy, which led to a very public fallout between the new coach and the board.
So this created this problem, which became one of the most common headlines of the era. You know, Rodgers versus the transfer committee.
And it was interesting because I don't remember a single time in that process where we had a player that we brought to the table in those committee or group meetings that we didn't all end up agree on mostly.
Despite a tricky start, Rodgers began to mould a great side. Steven Gerrard was still there, along with a young Raheem Sterling. But the player that spearheaded the Rodgers revolution was a controversial, hungry Uruguayan, Luis Suarez.
He was a dream to work with because he had that commitment and drive to be the very, very best. And I think in the 2 years that we worked together, his numbers proved that we worked very well together.
And Suarez's control is absolutely sublime.
Great to watch, great fun, till he started biting people, and then it all sort of went ship-shape.
Got into the second season, February on, when we were starting to get a run. It was first v second when we played Arsenal. It was just breathtaking football.
I do feel that Brendan Rodgers was almost the very start of a consistent mounted challenge and a consistently good team.
In 2014, you've got 3 games left. All you're going to do is stay in front.
The Chelsea game at home, we were so close, it just felt like inches away.
Oh, Gerrard slipped, Demba Ba onto it. Bar against Mignolet here for Chelsea, and Bar scores! Chelsea have the lead!
Steven Gerrard slipping is not why Liverpool didn't win the league.
You can't just blame it on that, but of course people loved it that they could turn it on him and use it against him.
How anyone can mention Steven Gerrard and the first thing that comes to your mind is, oh yeah, slipping for the title. I mean, the things that lad did for that club, and I mean, honestly, it just does my head in, really.
It was unfortunate, obviously, what happened to Stephen, and for me that was the defining game, really.
It's all about forgetting the immediate past. For Liverpool, there can be no more stumbles. They have to win here and hope Manchester City slip up. Sterling, Suarez, it's three!
I think we were chasing the goal difference, and I made the point at half-time in that game specifically that, I thought we were taking too much risk in the game.
Up it goes to Glenn Murray with a chest on. Here's Gale! It's 3-3! It's all gone wrong. The tackle is disappearing.
We were great going forward. We were just that bit inconsistent defending. And I've got no doubt with Virgil van Dijk in our back four at that point. We won the league.
In 2 games, the dream has vanished into an unbelievable night.
We were genuinely very, very close to doing it, but unfortunately destiny didn't take us there. We just couldn't quite get over the line.
Despite reaching 2 semi-finals the following season, Liverpool were well off the pace in the league. The club, it seemed, was in transition again.
We'd obviously lost Louis, who was a talisman, and really the team in terms of how we played, so we spent 2 seasons in building a model of intensity and aggression and pressing and being creative. And without Louis, we never replaced that.
I don't think there was any huge plan to sack Brendan Rodgers when he did. We played Everton, and in the press conference, Rodgers said,
We have to build something here again. So it's going to take time, whether that's me or someone else.
and while he was right, Fenway believed that the players that they brought in after Suarez were capable of winning the league.
At the time, you kind of thought, seems a little bit strange and maybe a little bit harsh. And then you think, yeah, but who came in his place?
Hello. We were with the family, a holiday in Lisbon, if I'm right. I got a call from my agent, and he told me about the interest of Liverpool. So we had our plans in that time, in that moment, look completely different actually, because we wanted to make more holiday. And then I told my family, and the boys were immediately like, yes. And I was, looked in Ulla's eyes, and she was, when? When you made such a big promise, like I did after I left Dortmund,